Okay, hello and welcome back. So in this video, we just finished talking about Nirvana when Zach sort of came to a really great conclusion that we were going to get to in a future video, but I want him to go to kind of what he figured out as sort of a logical fallacy in the worldview of the Buddhist or pantheist by extension. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so the way that the nirvana is described, and there's multiple types of nirvana. It is spread across some of the different Eastern religions, but generally speaking, nirvana is the kind of ultimate peace, ultimate freedom, the greatest happiness. They call it the happiest happiness. Um, it's this alleviation from suffering, and it is also simultaneously especially particularly within Buddhism, it is the lack of being oneself. It's called no self. It's an actual identity almost that you become part of, but it is specifically defined by your lack of desires in anything. And just at face value, it seems to be fairly self-contradictory because, you know, the desire to experience happiness is completely contrary to a lack of desires in totality. If you don't have a sense of identity or a being to experience anything, then
Your
there is
personhood
no
no
peace.
longer exists, right?
Yes.
There is no you to
Yes.
experience peace. So you're saying that the claim is twofold. It is in order to have the happiest happiness, you have to go to nirvana, and in order to go, when you go into nirvana, you cease to exist. That is mutually exclusive. So what they're going to say is, yeah, well, when you cease to exist, you have the happiest happiness, but you cannot have happiness when you do not exist. You have to have
And
existence to have happiness.
the word nirvana actually means uh, quenching or extinguishing, and that is actually how it is used even within the religion. It is visualized as an extinguishing of a flame, and they use the flame as an analogy for particular negative traits,
Yes.
evil desires, hatred, these things. And what's so interesting is you could almost use that analogy itself to see where there's issues here. So if you are representative of this flame, and let's say that there's there's rain coming down on it and it's smoldering and it's struggling, well, you have two options there, right? You can either cover the fire, give it more fuel, and make it brighter and stronger and healthier. And in that way, you know, it's a boon to the flame. Or if you extinguish it, but it no longer exists and there is no longer any positive or negative attributes to the fire because the
It's
fire
just
has
not there.
is just gone. Yeah.
Right. Excellent. So this is a definite logical conclusion or logical consequence of the idea that, you know, we want nirvana, which is the lack of existence, and that brings us happiness. That doesn't make sense because there's no us at that point to have happiness. So this is a great at least thing for us to understand. Is this to mean that you should just, wheel this one out with any Buddhist you're talking to? No, but it is a good understanding, a good thing to understand about the worldview. So with that, we're going to continue, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.